So today we're going to talk about how to talk to grown-ups. Now, whether you're 5 or 50, you often have to talk to people who are a lot older than you, and it can be difficult and awkward to close that generation gap because you really have nothing in common with them. So one of the first things that I always think about doing is to just copy the same questions that they ask you. So if they say, "How are you?" you say, "I'm well, thanks, and how are you?" So that it's a bit more like a tennis match where the ball goes back and forth over the net and it's not just a one-way conversation. The second thing would be to ask them a question where they can't give a yes or no answer, such as, "What did you enjoy about the week?" or "What did you find challenging?" or "How have you dealt with that situation?" so that you can get a little bit deeper and there's a little bit more conversation rather than just yes, no, good or bad. The third thing that can make it easier is to prepare some material. If you're going to a family barbecue or something and you know that Aunt Alice is going to say, "How's school?" then you can think a little bit about how school is and what you've been doing. There might have been something that you've done in sport or something that you've done academically that you can think of that you can bring up when Aunt Alice asks you that question. Another thing that can be useful is to get some background information about the people you're about to meet. For example, if your parents have got friends coming over, you can ask who they are and what they do. They might tell you it's Frank, he's just retired. So when Frank asks you a question about school, you can answer it. And then you can say, "And Mum tells me that you've just retired, how's that?" So the conversation can flow a little bit more easily and it can be a little less awkward. And finally, you can always ask an old person about the olden days. If Nana has asked you a question about your sport, you can ask her a question about what sort of sports maybe she played at school or what she did when she was around your age. It really helps to build that rapport between you and those other older people in your life, especially your relatives, and it can bring you closer and make any family engagement a little bit more interesting.